RC Underground Radio.
Yes, I realize I look like an idiot with this mustache, and I'm okay with it.
The ultimate podcast that covers everything RC.
You don't need to cut anything either. You can just call this the raw, uncut episode. We can leave it at that.
The raw. Yeah.
Are you drinking dollar store soda again? Quit spending your money on RC stuff. You can buy some name brand soda.
RC Underground Radio is your backstage pass to the RC industry. With insiders that are shaping the future of the hobby. The future of the hobby.
When we bring this guest on, I guarantee people are going to go, are you kidding me? He wrote a song for you.
I did. We're going to have to end this soon, huh?
Yeah, no shit. And we're going to have to edit this.
So, here are your hosts, Dave Brinkman and Ryan Ratzloff.
I think now that drifting is getting so much bigger, they are winning money now. So I think it was Brett Trevino. I think he won. I think it was like $5,000. I think he won $5,000 at Super G last year. Plus, you get they give tons of prizes out, which is great. So, but yeah, they are starting to pay out money. I know that even like 412 in Pennsylvania, he holds stuff like every weekend or every month. So the payout is always like $300 to $400 at least. So even if you're going there, I mean, you can come home with $400. Even the place that I went to in Michigan, they paid out. Whoever was winning was split $100. Let's do this. I think they're starting to get to the money area where it's that might attract more and might help a little bit. But at the same time, we do put a lot into it, and especially if you're representing the shop or if you're really always supporting that shop, it's always good to give back.
Yeah. I don't know. You drifting guys, Ricky, you talk scale. Y'all got it going on with that stuff. I mean, it's just the intensity level is so cool. And, Jake, you've been doing it for a while, the crawling side and then obviously with the drifting and, getting to look at your car. I'm just amazed at how many adjustment points and everything that you guys can do with those chassis. Blows my mind. The level of intensity, I think, with drifting is so far, at least in my eyes and my limited experience with RC, I think it goes far beyond a lot of the other forms of racing, just with what you guys can do and how you can adjust those cars. I mean, dirt oval, we don't have gyros, right? Like, we can't run them. They're illegal. But you guys, you need them to race, but they're not just like set. You have so many parameters just in a gyro, but then let's go back to the ESC where you can change boost and timing and, like all the stuff that we do too. It's just so crazy because y'all are on a different level, in my opinion.
So how they score would be, you got style, you got proximity, and then you got your qualifying. And then after that is when you do a tandem. So after qualifying runs, you go, that's one thing. You can kind of play that off, even if you double zero out. But when it comes down to battling, you basically want to mock the driver. You don't want to really bump and touch. You have boxes you have to basically stay in. The longer you can stay in them, the more points you're going to get, obviously, or the higher score you can be. So that's your style points. And then there would be usually about 5 different clipping points, but you just want to stay with that driver and mock that driver as close as can be without touching him and staying at angle. So you want to always have angle. You don't want to come out of drifting. You don't want to, hesitate on anything. You want to be very flowy, very fluent, and consistent. That's what they look for. Not necessarily the fastest drivers or anything like that. It'd be more the consistency of it, and if you can actually stay with the leader. Now, if the leader doesn't throw down a good line and you're following him, but you're hitting everything else and chasing him down perfectly, you're going to take that win over him, even though, he might have like got in the box, but you got deeper and you're right on him. So it all comes down to like a lot of it's proximity and staying inside the box and who can be in that zone. You want to get in your zones. If you don't hit a zone, you're marked down. But yes, it does. It is very. It's rattling. You never know what you're going up against. I can go off of just as our last event that we did. So Tuner Galleria, Chicago. When you go there, I don't go there just to drive and it's a track. Honestly, I go there because I know I'm going to see all my friends and all the different guys that I've met from all over the place. Like I said, Milwaukee was there, Chicago's there, you had Pennsylvania's there, Ohio, Michigan. So all these different guys that you've met at different tracks or that you drove with at different tracks, they're all going to be there, and it's just kind of fun to go hang out with everybody that, they're pretty much the ambassadors of drifting. If you're going to these events, you're in the scene. These guys are in the scene and they want to be seen. And it pulls you would be surprised about having an event like that at, say, Tuner Galleria, and how many people just sit down, and you'll see like 3 or 4 rows of just people sitting on their knee, just kneeling down or just watching for hours. Like, there was nonstop. You are the attraction of the event. Mm-hmm. It almost goes from there's real cars there, but everyone tends to just merge over to the RC drift track, and they're just like amazed by what we do. When you see 10 cars in a train, that's what I like, is to get in sequence, same timing, same speeds, and let's drive the same line and just flow. And then you got drivers that are speed drivers. So it's kind of like, we call it race with NASCAR. So we're going to NASCAR around. You're still drifting, but it's like shallow drifting, like more FD style compared to D1. So that I would say, if you want to research and check out some really cool drifting, go check out Drift Masters. Drift Masters has some really cool drifting. And then you go to Formula Drift, and that's where they're just doing like entries at like 140, like just flying, like just a total different drift style. So I kind of have a mixed version of that. Everyone's like, Rick, you're so fast, but you can still hang with me. I'm like, yeah, like I just like, I like to go fast. I'm like, they call me Ricky Bobby for a reason. I like to go fast. It's fun though. Yeah. Shake and bake, right, baby. Yeah, so sponsors. Shout out to RCOMG. RCOMG supports our electronics. We do our full electronic systems by OMG. Servos, gyros, motors, ESCs. A Plastics, they supply us with our bodies and shells if I need something. They're from Ukraine, so it's just kind of really cool to get things from just overseas anyway and help those guys out. There's a lot of things going on, so it's always good to help something like that's going on when it's a bad time. Shout out to Stick Label RC. They make all of our liveries. So all of our car liveries, that'd be Stick Label RC. I always shout out the people who are around here. So that's Dipset. We have Explicit Angles. I can shout out Easy Made, which we can't get no more because they're out of a country that we're not allowed to have with. But I have to shout out Easy Made. Those were our sponsors. They made things for us. And I just want to always shout out Super G just because.
All right, Jakey, any more questions that you have? And then Ryan, any questions you have? Maybe Jakey first.
I was just going to ask if you were going to do any of those events this year, but you've already answered that. So that's awesome. I hope this year I can make it out there. I've been meaning to make it out there with Jake and Matt and everybody. I just haven't had a chance. Usually it's on a bad weekend. But next one you host, I'll be out there.
Yeah, I don't have a question, but I just have a general statement here for you, Ricky. I think it's so cool to see your passion for the hobby, what you're doing. You know, there's so many things that just keep transferring over, right? And it's helping other people. It's having a good time. It's about the hang. It's about getting technical with stuff, right? Like using our minds, focusing on making those adjustments and what they do, how they affect the cars. You know, people can say, "Oh, y'all are just a bunch of nerds playing with cars." Well, we are, but you know what? It takes really really smart people to do this kind of stuff. You know, and I just think, you know, I've never driven a drift car. I think they look cool as crap. But the biggest thing is I respect the hell out of people that do that and are part of that hobby because it's insane. It's blowing up. You know, I think that drifting is part of the reason, and I'll say crawling too is part of the reason why I think RC is really, you know, just the whole hobby in general is really taking off with a lot of people because it's connecting more with, you know, younger generations, you know, and it is a really cool outlet, you know, the drifting thing because it's the hang, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hope I covered all the aspects without overdoing it too much, but I just try to explain as much and as best as possible, and I just want everybody to have fun drifting, and I really do.
Papa Willie's Traction Tonic has been curing poor traction since 2016. The name says it all. If you're not popping wheelies, it's not Papa Willie's. Papa Willie's has become known across the United States on dirt oval to off-road, asphalt to concrete, carpet to hardwood, and so many other surfaces. Papa Willie's continues adding to their lineup with tonics for cold and hot weather, loose dirt to high traction, dry dirt, wet dirt, clay and abrasive surfaces, along with anti-drag bearing oil, tire cleaner, tire glue, pit accessories, and swag. You can find the complete Papa Willie's catalog at www.papawillies.net. Prepare for victory with Papa Willie's Traction Tonic.
Folks, are you looking to gain a 10th on the racetrack or maybe get a few ladies like Taylor Swift in your pit stall? Well, I'm sorry to say that Carpies can't work miracles in those departments. But here's the good news. The folks at Carpies can definitely help you become the ultimate toy car nerd, just like me. How, you ask? Well, with their custom wraps and killer collection of official RC branded merch. So while they can't promise to shave a 10th off your lap time, they can save you 10% on your next order with promo code RCU10 upon checkout at carpies.com, CARPYS.com. Wrapping winners since 2013.
Hey, Ricky, I know when people hear this, they're going to want to learn more about your organization. They're also going to want to learn more about you. I've looked at your Facebook. It's super entertaining. You got some great stuff out there. So just let people know. Let people know where they can get a hold of you.
I would say you can always find us at I made a new Instagram. Our old Instagram got hacked, but you can just go on Drift Ninjas RC, or you can look up I Am the Drift Ninja. You should be able to find us in that. And on Facebook, you're going to have just Drift Ninjas RC on Facebook. I'm mostly on Facebook. I'm mostly doing my lives. I'm mostly trying to help people out, and that's pretty much the platform that I stay on.
Well, again, we can't thank you enough for jumping on. Jake, thank you for being a co-host on this. You and Ricky have been outstanding. So on behalf of everybody here at RC Underground, we knew this was going to be a good episode, right, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for what you do for this hobby. Really,
thank you,
really
guys.
Appreciate it. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Ricky. Thanks again for all you do, and we'll see you again soon.
I'm going to talk to Bob about getting out that way and seeing if we can do some dirt oval or some oval racing. I always say dirt. I'm sorry, but some oval racing.
Absolutely. Everybody have a great night. Thanks again for joining in. We told you we're going to give you different perspectives all around this hobby, and we proved it again tonight.
Thank you for listening to the RC Underground Radio Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your fellow racers about the show. Tune in again next week for more RC content.